All right, I'm back, and welcome to another edition of What's Up. Today, I'm going to tell a story to little Ducky here. Right? We had a comment that the guys didn't like my teddy bear, my little lovey teddy bear with the big heart. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell a story, a duck story. Let me see. And I have little Ducky here on my forehead. How you doing today, little Ducky?
I'm doing just fine. Are you gonna tell me a story today?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you a story. Uh, are you ready for a story?
I like stories. I like stories. Is this not gonna scare me?
Well, it might scare you just a little bit, but I think you can handle it. What do you think?
Okay.
And it's gonna deal with your duck family and with your mama duck and all that.
Do you mean mommy's in the story?
Yes, mommy's in the story, and older brothers in the story, and sisters in the story, and there's one other character in the story.
What other character is gonna be in the duck story?
Well, we're gonna be having Mrs. Crocodile. Mrs. Crocodile's gonna be in the story too.
A crocodile? I'm scared of crocodiles.
Oh, you're scared of crocodiles? Well, don't worry about it. This is gonna be a real good story that you'll always remember.
Okay.
Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sit back and relax. Just relax on my head as I tell the story. All right. Well, long time ago, there used to be the duck family that lived on the big lake out there in the world. And the family had a mama duck and had a big brother duck and a sister duck and three other little baby ducks, and they all lived in a little duck pond next to the big lake out by the woods.
I like this story. I want to live there at the duck pond.
Yeah, I remember you trying to go out and swim that one day, and you almost drowned because you was out there swimming by yourself. And are you going to swim by yourself anymore?
No, I'm not going to swim by myself anymore. I learned my lesson.
Okay, so anyway, these ducks, there was 5 ducks, and there was the older brother, the sister, and the 3 little baby ducks and mama duck. So one morning, mama duck said, you know, I've had you ducks all this time, but there's one thing that I forgot to teach you, and I really need to teach it to you today. And that is, I need to teach you 5 little ducks how to swim, right? Because all ducks should know how to swim. But I've been so busy and making apple pies and doing all kind of stuff and fixing food and stuff that I haven't had time to teach you ducks how to swim. I've taught you everything else. I've taught you how to cook, how to clean the pond and everything. I've even taught the little babies how to cook breakfast, but I have not taught any of you how to swim. And so today is going to be your special day. I'm going to take you out and show you how to swim in the big lake out there. So that's what Mama Duck was going to do today, is teach the little ducks how to swim.
That's so nice. I remember when my mommy sure taught me how to swim, but I still need to learn how to swim because I don't swim too good.
Yeah, I could tell when you was out there in that river going down the street. All right, so Mama told the kids to stay at home, and she'd be back in just a few minutes because she just needs to go out you know, and check the lake and check the conditions to see how the water is, because she wanted the water to be nice and smooth for the swimming lessons. So they waved goodbye to Mommy Duck, and Mommy Duck watered her way over to the down the beach and then into the water. And off she went. So the little ducks were at home and they were cleaning up the duck pond and stuff. And uh, it 10 minutes went by, and then 15 minutes went by, and Mama Duck hasn't come home yet. And so the ducks were getting kind of worried. And so about after an hour or so, the oldest duck, the older duckling said, "You know what? I need to go out and see where Mama is. So you guys stay here, and I'm gonna go over to down the beach, and I'm gonna go over to the lake and see what Mama's doing, because it's taking her too long to come back home to give us the swimming lessons." So the older duck went and waddled over down the beach, and he was looking around, and he did not see Mama. He looked up the beach, he looked down the beach, but he did not see Mama Duck. What he did see was a great big old crocodile laying on a rock. And he says, "Oh my goodness, look how big that crocodile is." And he was laying there and sleeping, and then he realized that was a female. And so she opened up one of her eyes and looked over at the duck and said, "Hey there, Duck, what you doing out here on the beach?" And the older duck said, "Well, I'm looking for my mama. I mean, have you seen her? Because she said she would be back home in just a few minutes, and she hasn't gone. She's been gone for over an hour, and we're getting kind of worried." And she says, the crocodile says, "Well, you know, I've been sleeping here all day, and nobody's disturbed me, and I haven't really seen anybody. There are some duck footprints over there, or duck prints. Maybe she went and swam over to that big island over there in the middle of the lake. Hey, you know what? I bet you that's what happened. She swam all the way over to that island that's out in the middle of the lake. Why don't you just take and just get in the water and swim over to the lake and see if you can find your mama?" And the older duck said, "Well, you know, I would do that, but you know, Mama hasn't taught me how to swim yet, and so I don't know how to swim. I would drown." And the crocodile looked and said, "You got to be kidding. You're telling me you're a duck and you don't know how to swim?" And the older duck said, "Yeah, that's right, because Mama, she's been busy. She's been cooking pies and stuff and cleaning the house and taking care of us. She hasn't got around to teaching us how to swim. But that's what she was going to do today, and we can't understand, well, where's she at?" And the crocodile said, "Oh, you know what? There's a great big apple tree, 2 or 3 of them on that island over there. And I bet you your mama got into the lake and she swam all the way over there to go pick some apples on the apple tree. That's the ticket. That's where she's at." And the older duck said, "Oh yeah, that's probably it. She's over there and she's picking the apples off the apple tree." And the crocodile said, "Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of apples over there, and she probably would need some help. And it would be best for you to take and go over there and help your mama so that you can help her carry all those apples back home." And she said, "Yeah, that's a great idea, because my mama, she makes apple pies, and that would be a great thing to do, because we love apple pies." And but there's only one problem, Mrs. Crocodile. And she said, "Well, what's that?" I can't swim." And the crocodile said, "Well, you know what? I can help you out. All you need to do is just climb up on my back, and I'll just take and just swim on over there to that island and deliver you to your mama, and you guys can pick the apples and stuff, and then you can swim back with your mom. She said, yeah, but that's a good idea, but I don't know. And the older crocodile was thinking, mama used to tell the story that crocodiles eat ducks. And so he was a little leery, and so the crocodile said, come on now, you can trust me. We're neighbors. I got my family, and I don't live that far from you. And she pointed a great big muscular tail over to the south, and she pointed, see that bush over there? That's where my family is. And we're practically neighbors, so you can trust me. So the older brother's duckling said, well, I guess since we're neighbors and all, and you live just right there in them bushes over there, I guess I'll trust you and I'll climb up on your back. So that made the crocodile real happy. The older duckling got up on back of the alligator's back, and she slowly went out into the water and slowly swam across and headed straight for that island that was way out there in the middle of the lake. Well, she got about halfway to the island, and she was swimming in the most deepest part of the lake. And the older brother was thinking, oh, I hope she doesn't take and go under the water, because she goes under the water, I might drown. And so, and the crocodile looked back and said, don't you worry about a thing. I can get there in just a few minutes. So the older duckling, he was happy that he was going to be with his mama to help pick up the apples and take them back home to make the apple pie. Well, the alligator had something else in mind. She decided that she was going to take and do something here. She says, hey, older brother, I got a trick I want to show you. And the older duck said, well, what kind of trick do you have? And the big old alligator started to slowly go down in the water. And she went slower and slower and got deeper and deeper in the water. And the older brothers go, don't do that. Don't do that. I can't swim. If you go down any deeper, I might drown. Please don't go down any farther. And the crocodile said, oh, don't worry about it. And then the crocodile darted down and swam all the way down to the bottom of the lake. And they left the older brother struggling on the surface. He was struggling and struggling, and he was trying to swim.
Oh no! The older brother, he's going to drown?
Well, I don't know. He was flapping his feet and his web feet, and he was flapping his little flippers and his wings and stuff. But he was getting so tired and tired and tired. And the big old alligator, she could hold her breath for like about 2 hours underwater. And she just sat there and watched poor older duckling struggle until eventually he got so tired he stopped struggling, and he closed his eyes, and he was gulping water. He was taking in water. He couldn't swallow any more water. He was real tired, and he closed his eyes, and he stopped moving.
What happened to him?
He slowly sank down to the bottom of the lake. And while he was sinking down to the bottom of the lake, the crocodile had good ears, and the crocodile could hear the heart of the brother of the older ducky slowly come to a stop. It was boo-boo, 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 boo-boom. And then it was silence. The heart stopped in the older ducky's body, and the older ducky drowned and he died. And as soon as the heart stopped, the crocodile rushed up, opened up her big, large, toothy mouth, and ate the older duck in one big gulp. Oh, it was horrible. The blood filled the water, turned red, and the eyes of the crocodile rolled back. That really tasted good. That tastes almost as good as that mama duck I ate this morning. And she was so happy that she had 2 ducks to eat that morning. And she rolled her eyes back. Finally, the blood and the red color in the water cleared up, and she slowly returned back to her home and crawled up to the beach and to enjoy the nice duck meal that she just ate. And while she was crawling up, there was another duck that was standing there waiting on her. And she goes, well, what's this? And what duck is that?
That must be the sister duck. Did the sister duck come out?
Yes, the sister duck came out because she was worried about the older brother duck. And so the sister duck was up there and she was crying and crying and crying. And the crocodile walked over to her and said, oh, little baby girl duck, what is wrong with you? And the sister duck was crying, oh, I'm so sad because my mama hasn't come home yet, and it's been hours, and my older brother went out to go find my mama, and he hasn't come home yet. And the crocodile said, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I just heard a couple of ducks playing and laughing and singing on that island way out over there. See that island over there? And she took her great big tail and pointed to the island that was out in the middle of the lake. And she said, yeah, I could faintly hear. It sounded like 2 little ducks singing and laughing, and they're singing about they found apples. Do you know anything about that? And the sister duck stopped crying and she goes, oh, they found apples? Oh, I know what's happening. They found an apple tree over there. My mama loves to make apple pie for us. So she's over there collecting apples. And so I would really like for her to come back home with the apples to make the apple pie because she has taught us all how to cook. And I would like to cook an apple pie with my mama. But there's just one thing. And crocodile said, well, what's wrong? Well, the only bad thing about it is I don't know how to swim yet. See, Mama was supposed to teach us all how to swim, and she hasn't come back yet to teach us how to swim, so I don't know how to swim. So the crocodile did the same thing as she did with the older brother. She said, you know what? I'll take and if you just climb up on my back, I'll take and swim you over there. It'll only take a few minutes, and then you can be with your mom, and you can collect the apples, and then bring it back so that you can make a nice big apple pie for your family. And the sister duck said, well, you know, my mama says never ride with strangers, so I don't really feel good riding on your back because you are a stranger, and that's not the smartest thing to do. And the sister duck, she was right. Never ride with a stranger. But then the crocodile said, oh, I'm not a stranger. Look over at that bush over there. You see that bush over there? And I live pretty close to you. I hear you guys quacking. I don't know exactly where you live, but I know you live close to me. And my family is right over there. And I'm going to have 5 babies soon. And they're going to come out, and they're going to, when they're born and all, they're going to take and come out, and I'll have them play with you and your family and your mom. What do you think about that? And the sister duck said, well, I guess you're not exactly a stranger, and you did invite us to go play with your family when they get born, so I'll just go ahead and hop on your back, and I'll just head on over. And the crocodile was so happy to have Sister Duck climb up on her back, And then the crocodile crawled down the hot beach and into the cold water and started to swim quickly over to the island. And just like before, she got about halfway and she stopped and she says, "Hey, sister, I'm just a little tired here. I'm just going to take a little break here. So just hold on." And then when she said that she was going to take a little break, she started to take and sink down in the water. This got the sister duck a little upset. And she goes, "Oh no, please don't go down any deeper in the water, because if you go down any deeper in the water, I don't know how to swim and I might drown." And once again, the alligator did the same thing as she did with the older brother. She dove down into the lake and went all the way down into the water. And the same thing happened to the sister duck.
The same thing happened?
Yes, yes.
Did she drown?
Well, yeah, she drowned, but it was a little bit more horrible than that. While she was struggling and paddling and trying to stay afloat because she didn't know she was trying to do the duck paddle and all, the crocodile didn't wait around for her to drown. The crocodile lunged up out of the water towards her with her big mouth open, and she, like a whale jumping out of the water, she opened her mouth and she gulped the sister duck with one big gulp and crushed her body with her great big jagged teeth. And she crushed the sister so hard that her little heart popped out of her chest and fell into the water. And her heart was still beating. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And her little heart was kept beating, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And it started going deeper and deeper down into the ocean. And the sister duck was all eaten up by the crocodile. And the only thing left was her little heart floating down to the bottom of the river. It was still beating. And then this big old catfish was going along the bottom of the river and of the lake, and he saw something moving around. And what was moving around was the soft, the heart, muscular heart of the sister still beating underwater. And so the catfish thought it was a crab or a big worm, and he lunged for it and he ate the beating muscular organ and he swallowed it down his throat. And that was the end of the sister duck. So now the crocodile, once again, she was feeling really good. Her stomach was getting full, and she slowly swam back home to the beach and was going to lay out on that big rock and warm her tummy, because she done already had 3 delicious ducks to eat that morning. Well, while she was getting ready to come out of the cold water and onto the warm beach and get on that hot rock, there was 3 little duckies sitting there waiting for her on the shore. And she goes, "Oh no, look, there's 3 little baby duckies sitting there." And when she came up, she goes, "How you little duckies doing? What are you doing out here?" And so the little duckies, they were all quacking and quacking, and they go, "We're looking for our mama, and we're looking for our big sister and our big brother. And have you seen our mother or our sister or our brother?" And the crocodile goes, "Well, there's a lot of duck prints all over the beach over there, and they all look like they're heading and going into the water, and they're going over to that island over there." And then one of the little duckies says, but wait a minute, it couldn't be brother ducky, or it couldn't be sister ducky. who went over that way because they don't know how to swim. We don't know how to swim. The only person that knows how to swim is Mama Ducky. So we can't understand the fact that you're thinking that my brother and sister went over to the island. And the crocodile laughed and said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You know, I've heard laughing and playing going on over there, and I bet you your mama is over there and she's picking apples. And I've heard them talking about apples, and I think they're going to take and bring apples back over, and they're going to make an apple pie and all." And the little ducky said, "Yeah, Mama likes to cook, and she likes to make apple pies, and so does big sister and big brother. And Mama has taught us all how to cook, and we love to cook, but there's one thing that all of us, we can't do. We don't know how to swim." So the crocodile says, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I will take you on over to the island over there, and all you three have to do is just get on my back, and I can get you over there in a few minutes. And since you three are so small, I could get you over there really quick. What do you think about that?" So the three little duckies said, "You know, we need to talk about this." So the three little duckies went over and got into a little duck huddle and talked about the situation. In the meantime, the crocodile went over to the side and said, "Okay, well, I'll just wait on your decision." So after the three little duckies start talking, and they talked for about three or 4 minutes, they finally came up with a decision. And they walked back over to the crocodile, who was laying up on the big rock and all, and said, "I'll tell you what, Mrs. Crocodile, we're going to take and get on your back, and we're going to go over to the island to see if we can find our mama. But before we do that, we'd like to do something nice for you. We'd like to make you some breakfast." And the crocodile says, "Oh, really? You're going to make me some breakfast?" And the little ducky said, "Yeah, why don't you follow us back home, and we'll set up a breakfast table, and we're going to feed you some breakfast." So the crocodile decided to follow the three little duckies home. She didn't have to go very far from her house because the little duckies just lived right around the other side of the bush. So the three little duckies got into their kitchen, and they started up the stove and got it all nice and hot and everything. And the crocodile was amazed to see that these little duckies were pretty good at cooking. They went and she saw them get 5 big, large eggs and crack them open and then put them in the skillet. And then she saw them cooking bacon and stuff. And boy, it smelled good. And the little duckies got some salt and pepper and put it on there. And after they cooked the 5 eggs and everything, they put it on a big plate. And then they brought it over to the crocodile and said, "Here, Mrs. Crocodile, here's your breakfast. All 3 of us made breakfast for you." And the crocodile was so happy. And one of the little duckies says, "Well, we had these 5 big eggs, but 2 of them had some meat in them. So we turned the meat and made it into some bacon. So now you got some eggs, scrambled eggs, and bacon." And the crocodile was so happy that she just gulped in there with her big mouth and her big jaws. And it took her about 30 minutes to eat all those scrambled eggs and all that bacon. And man, she was happy. She had eggs and stuff all in her stomach, and she had that bacon all in her stomach. And she said, "Well, thank you very much, little duckies, but you know, my stomach is kind of full, and I would just take a small little nap before I take you 3 on my back over to the island. Is that okay?" And the little ducky said, "Well, that's fine. You can go ahead and take a little nap. We'll just clean up the kitchen and everything. And when you finish taking your nap, then you can take us over to the island so that we can see our mama and help her bring the eggs back over." And she says, "Okay." So the crocodile thanked them, and then she crawled back out on the beach on the big rock so that she could sun her big, full belly. And now the crocodile's thinking, "Man, I sure am full here. I got 3 ducks. I done ate 3 juicy ducks. And now I've eaten 5 eggs. I've eaten bacon. I've eaten. So, what do you think happened, little ducky?
Oh, this is such a tragic story.
You know, I don't know what to think. The crocodile ate the mama. The crocodile ate the big brother. She ate the sister, and now she was invited to their home, and they made her breakfast, and she's eaten 5 eggs with bacon and scrambled eggs. Wow, this crocodile's eating so much food. Yeah, the crocodile ate a lot of food. Her belly was full of food, and so she had to take and wait a little while on that, and so she fell asleep. And then after an hour uh, or so, it wasn't even an hour. It was like 2 or 3 hours went by, and she finally woke up. And when she woke up, she saw a full moon. She slept all day long until it was night, and the full moon was up. And so she goes, "Oh my goodness, I need to take and find those little duckies and see if they still want to ride on my back to the island over there." So she crawled back, because she knew where they lived at now. So she crawled back, and she says, "You know what? If I crawl back in their sleep, I could eat them while they're sleeping. So that's even better." So she snuck and crawled back to the duckies' house, but she did not see any other 3 duckies there. All she saw was the 5 broken eggs laying over there by the bushes. The stove was gone, the plates were gone, everything was gone. It's like the 3 little duckies packed up and they left. The only thing that was left were these 5 big cracked eggs. So she says, well, I don't know where they are, so maybe I'll look around and see where they're at. So she says, before I do that, I'm gonna go back to my bush and check on my babies. So she went back to her bush to check on her 5 babies that were in big eggs that she had buried because she just had them. And so she dug up the sand to go check on her babies. And when she dug up the sand, there was nothing but a big hole there. The 5 eggs were gone. Where was her 5 eggs? She starts screaming and hollering, "Oh my goodness, where's my babies at? They're gone. They're gone." And she started thrashing around and tearing the bushes all apart and screaming and hollering, "Where's my babies?" And then she says, "I know if I could find those 3 little duckies, they probably know where my 5 little babies are." So she started going back over, and she went back over to where the ducks lived at, and she could not find those little duckies at all. The only thing she could find was those 5 big broken eggs just laying there all empty. And then she realized, well, wait a minute. The little ducky said the thing that their mama, the thing that the mama had taught them was how to cook. They didn't know how to swim, but they knew how to cook. And then she went over and she looked at the 5 big broken eggs, and she went, "Oh no, it couldn't be. No, oh no, not my babies, not my babies."
So the little duckies scrambled the 5 crocodile babies and made scrambled eggs and bacon out of them. Is that right?
That's right. That's exactly what those little duckies did. They went over there and got those 5 crocodile eggs, cracked them open, and made scrambled eggs and bacon out of them and fed them right to their own mother. What do you think about that? And that's the end of the story.
Oh, that was so tragic.
Yeah, that is kind of tragic. And there's a moral to the story, you know.
Is there more to the story?
Yeah, there's a more to the story. I mean, if you fool around with people, you just never know that the things that you eat might be the things that you know you might be eating yourself. So you need to treat other people like you would like to be treated. It wasn't very nice for the crocodile to sit there and eat all the duck family, was it?
No, it was not very nice for the crocodile to eat all the duckies up.
But in the end, she got a payback, right? She got the payback right there. Because the payback she got was that she thought she was going to trick those little duckies, but those duckies paid her back by feeding her her own young.
Oh, what a story. What a duck story. I was just so scared of the duck story, but it was a good duck story. I really enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy the duck story?
Yes, I did. Are you going to tell me another story?
Yes, I'll tell you another story on another day. So right now, we're just going to end this story, and you need to take and go to sleep now, okay? So it's time for you to go to bed. You got that?
Okay, I'm going to go to bed. Good night.